Welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Travel Alert. I'm Steve Glenn.
I'm Paul Glenn.
Paul, today is one of my favorite times of the year. This is when we come up with my list of the top 10 international destinations for 2025.
All right.
I've got a couple of them here that I know you're going to love.
And you probably have a lot that actually I've never been to. So I think you've got that travel experience that this will give some great insight to people on a lot of places that most people haven't been to.
This is your bucket list. Ladies and gentlemen, get those pens and pencils out. Get ready to write down the bucket list. The Weekly Travel Alerts, we provide an email out to 100,000 people every Tuesday at about 10:30 in the morning. Away it goes to 100,000 people. Been doing it now, Paul, for over 30 years.
Yep.
Executive Travel's in the saddle here for 38 years, going on to our 39th year.
We're in our 39th year.
Yeah, and you can find us on the internet at executivetravel.com. Our phone number is 402-435-8888. Hey, today I'd like to ask you, we're going to ask right up front to subscribe and do all that other stuff.
So like, subscribe, share, all the fun stuff?
Yeah, we gotta get more people to be able to subscribe to our podcast. We've been going now for about a year.
Over a year now.
Over a year, got over 50 sessions on Spotify and Apple and YouTube and all those fancy channels. So
I think the thing is that if you know somebody that has a passion for travel, pass this on to them as well and suggest that they follow us and get the connection, get these updates on a regular basis.
the top 10 international destinations for 2025. Guess what's number one, Paul?
This one's not a tough one to guess.
It's Italy. It's Italy, Italy, Italy. Everybody wants to go to Italy. For the last 3 years, ladies and gentlemen, it's been wacko busy over there, and everybody wants to see Italy. Now this next year is the Jubilee. 2025 is the Jubilee. So people are expecting massive crowds. They're actually shutting many of the roads down in Rome just so they can be pedestrian traffic. And now, here's the interesting thing. I think what's going to happen is people are going to go to those major cities, but then they're going to start to explore rural Italy. We have a villa, of course, at villadestinoitaly.com, and that's in Umbria. People know where Tuscany is, which is just outside of Florence, but they don't know where Umbria is. What's your favorite city in Umbria?
Oh, there's so many that are fun, but the one we stumbled on the last time we were over there is a little town called Spello.
Spello.
Which, just a very steep hill with some shops on the sides of the steep road to climb, and just cute, quaint, and beautiful. So
great time to explore. Little Spello, little Montone, all these little cities.
Assisi. It's less than an hour from Assisi.
Gubbio,
yep.
All those cool little towns. Call our office. We'll be happy to work with you. Italy is number one.
Okay.
Now, last year I had number one. Now I moved it down to number two, but Greece is number two.
Okay.
Greece is sizzling hot, and I mean hot, both with travelers, but also with heat. It's
temperatures,
been a very hot year this year. But Greece has it all. Most of Europe goes down to Greece for the summertime, lay on the beaches. The thing that when you go to Greece, it's hard to explain to people, is the water is the most beautiful water that I've seen anywhere in the world. It's kind of this blue, green, azure, whatever you might call it, but it's hard to describe how beautiful the beaches are, the water is. And the Greeks are just great people to welcome you. So that's number two this year is Greece. Number three on my list is actually going to surprise a lot of people. Probably most people have never been to number three, and that's Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for something with natural beauty and really a cool culture too. Of course, many people remember in the 60s
the war.
Right. And some veterans may want to go back, some may not want to go back. But Ha Long Bay is one of my favorite places in the world. These iconic, cliffs and coming by the sea. And we took a seaborne cruise there and went from Singapore to Hong Kong. I'd never been to Ha Long Bay. Did a tour of that, and I was just fascinated by it. And also the places that. Where we did in Vietnam War, there was the Hanoi Hilton, and I visited that. Of course, that was a lot of trauma for a lot of people. But then the beaches in Vietnam are some of the most beautiful in the world, and the people there are very, very great too. So that's number 3 this year. Probably a surprise to most people.
Yeah, that's one that's on my list at some point, because all the people that we've sent there, when they come back, they talk about the beaches and the beauty and the greenery and all that. So definitely something on my bucket list.
Now, the 4th one is going to make your eyes light up. Okay? This, I know, is where you want to go. Scandinavia, beat the heat in 2025. Tell us about where you want to go.
Well, put me anywhere in Scandinavia. But we did a couple weeks over in Norway this last year. We've done Sweden before, Copenhagen over in Denmark. Helsinki was actually one of my favorite destinations in Finland when we did a cruise that hit all these locations over there. And it's just because it's so unique. The old Viking ships and all those types of things. It's right there on the water. So beautiful town, and we only had a day there. But I would love to get back and just explore all those cities over in Scandinavia again. Just so much history, and again, it goes to the people. I mean, the countryside is beautiful, but the people of Scandinavia are really what make the experience something that makes it so I want to return again and again.
There's not a lot of people that live in Scandinavia. And of course, usually it's cooler there than in the rest of Europe.
Which that's attractive to me.
However, things have warmed up a little bit. There really is no air conditioning in Scandinavia, so you better hope you hit it when it's not 90 degrees. I was there once and it was 90 and it wasn't much fun. They didn't even have fans for us. Hey, number 5. This place is sizzling hot, Portugal. And we have Women of the Midwest groups that go there all the time. It's one of their favorite.
It's beautiful.
We've had bike tours in Portugal.
It's a big bike destination.
And it's just a beautiful place that more and more people are putting it on the bucket list.
Yes.
They've done Spain, they've done Italy, they've done Greece. Now they're going to do Portugal. They've done Germany, they've done England. Portugal's kind of that second or third or fourth tier that they sneak down to after they've done so many trips to Europe.
Yeah, we stumbled on Portugal by accident a couple years ago, and it was one where I had some miles I wanted to use, but I wanted to make sure that we were able to use them and get upgraded. So we didn't have a specific destination. My goal was, figure out when we've got somebody to watch the kids, and then using those dates, figure out what we can do and get upgraded. So, going through that, we figured out the dates, but then I'm plugging in, how do I use these points or miles? And we stumbled upon Lisbon. So
you basically did travel roulette.
We did.
You basically said, where can I go with these miles? And I think more and more people are doing travel roulette.
It was fun. I mean, we get there, and a lot of when we travel to a new destination, we get there, and first thing we do is a hop-on, hop-off bus.
Yeah.
We learn the basics of the destination, then we figure out what we want to go back and learn more about. But with Portugal, you've got Lisbon, which is the primary city, but then you get over to the water, and you get up into the wine country, the Douro region. There's just so many different things that you never think of, but we regarding the wine, we went for a walk the first night we were in Lisbon and wandered into a little quick shop type place, and the shop owner asked us, what we were looking for. We said, well, what's a local wine? He said, well, we got all these, but really what people enjoy is this wine from the Douro region. So we grabbed one of them, and this bottle of wine was $6 and was some of the most amazing wine that we've ever had.
Oh my gosh.
So,
that brings to the point, if you're going to Portugal, you probably get great value in Portugal. One of the best value countries in Europe. Yep. So put that on your list. Number 5, I had it for 2025. Number 6, I actually have 2 countries, Australia and New Zealand. It's the dynamic duo down under.
And if you're going to go that far, you better hit both of them.
You're going to probably take the longest airline flight you've ever taken in your life. You'll probably want to be in business class so you can lay flat, go to sleep. Otherwise, it's probably 17 hours to get there.
I think the long flight is.
Something like that.
We've got one of our advisors that's going down there here next year for an education trip. So
Australia with the Opera House. You've got I wrote down the Great Barrier Reef. A great place to snorkel and dive at.
Isn't it number one in the world for snorkeling and
then
scuba
you've got
diving?
the Outback, which is so cool. And then actually, I like New Zealand better than Australia.
And that's what most people come back and they talk about the lushness and the beauty of the flowers.
Oh,
And, I haven't had the opportunity to go visit these two places yet, but everybody comes back and they always put New Zealand at the top of the list.
Ahead of Australia. Yep. So that's number 6 on the list. Number 7 on this week's list of the top bucket list destinations, in my humble opinion, for 2025. This one you're not going to believe.
Yeah, this one
probably no one will.
Surprise.
Colombia. Now, when you say Colombia, what do you think?
Drugs.
Okay.
Drug lords, crime.
Okay.
Everything you don't want to go experience.
Actually, it's emerging as one of the top destinations in South America. It's just got this amazing culture, beaches, cuisine, and you got Bogota, Medellin, Cartagena. And it's becoming safer because they're protecting their tourists.
It's kind of like what Mexico is doing. You know, that they've got the same issues in Mexico, but they do everything they can to protect the tourist areas.
Yeah, very much so. So that probably is the surprise of the year. Mm-hmm. Number 7 is...
Was that anywhere on your thought process last year?
No.
Colombia?
So. No, but I wanted to get something. I've got 2 in South America, and I'll share the next one in just a few minutes. But number 8 on this year's 2025 list of the top bucket list destinations, in my humble opinion, is Japan.
Yeah.
And Japan has always been the biggest market, but with COVID, it basically went dark.
They shut down.
They literally
took
shut
zero
down.
risk.
And it really hurt them. It started back up, and now it's moderated a little bit. But Japan's going to be hot in 2025,
okay.
So you want to get on it early. Number 9 is back down in South America,
okay.
Peru. And Peru is an area, obviously, where you got just the fun Inca heritage.
Yep.
And you can do all the Lima, Peru. You can do of course, everybody wants to do the Cusco, I call it.
Cusco.
I went there once, and it's on your way to see the ruins.
Okay.
And it's up like 12,000 feet.
Okay.
I could barely breathe.
Oh, I can imagine.
And people at the airport were selling bottles of air,
Yep.
of oxygen. And of course, everybody wants to go to Machu Picchu. That's the hot item. And take the train there to Machu Picchu. And, you got world-class food and everything. So that's a fun area for...
Probably a decent value as well, isn't it?
Very good value.
You would compare that to Portugal as far as it's going to be something unique, but it's also going to be something that's a good value.
Good value. Number 10 I have, and I think you've got this on your bucket list, is Kenya and Tanzania.
This is.
African safari.
Yep.
And you better get there, and I wrote this in my weekly travel alert, better get there before it gets over-tourismed out.
I've got a friend that goes every year, takes his whole family, and they've been doing it forever. He was raised, his dad's one of the top hunters, big game hunters in the world. So yeah, every time he comes back from his trip and talks about it, makes me want to get that on there.
You've got Kilimanjaro, you've got Ngorongoro Crater, you've got all the Great Migration, where you can track all these animals. It's just fascinating. And the camps, to stay and camp out in the wilderness.
I call them camps, but they're 6-star resorts.
Luxury, yeah, luxury resorts. So much fun, so much beauty. Of course, it takes a while to get there.
That's another one not easy.
Yeah, but some of the airlines now are adding more flights to Africa.
There are more flights from the States, where it used to be you'd have to go stop on some other continent to get down there.
Yeah,
now
you have to go through Europe or through Emirates, through
Dubai.
So number 11, this is my bonus. This is the list of the top 10. Actually, I'm giving you a bonus, number 11. Okay. I wrote down Iceland, and I did it not because it's new or unique. It's just so strong, I didn't feel I could leave it off the list.
Okay.
And, I left off some others, too. I left off Ireland. But I'd love to go to Ireland every August.
Every year, yeah.
We were talking a year ago when we said, hey, we're going to go every August to Ireland. Why not? Perfect weather,
75
perfect people.
degrees in July and August. Yeah.
Same with Iceland. There's actually more to do in Ireland than there is to do in Iceland. But you got the Blue Lagoon and all those things. So I could probably come up with a list of about
I
30.
think the bucket list can just continue on and on and
Yeah,
on. I think
yeah.
that's the reality, but you're trying to say what are the top 10 to look at for this next year. So.
If we can help you put together your bucket list, we'd be happy to. Call our friendly agents at Executive Travel, 402-435-8888. Paul, I've had fun today.
It's always fun talking travel and talking places that I haven't been. You know, just gets the mind going.
You better get traveling with
rearrange. Yeah, well, my travels are too much
Work.
too regular right now.
To Toledo, Chicago, and Phoenix.
I get some blessings with Italy at least, but yeah, a lot of Phoenix is more my what my schedule allows for right now.
You bet. Well, we hope you join us next week on the Weekly Traveler. I'm Steve Glenn.
I'm Paul Glenn, and again, please like, subscribe, share, and add any comments on topics that would be of interest for future episodes. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.